All right, let's go ahead and start with a few examples on the chain rule. In this first one, we can identify the inside function as being 2x minus 7. The outside function as being some stuff cubed. And so if we want to take the derivative of y with respect to x, we have to take the derivative of the outside, which is 3 times 2x minus 7 raised to the 2. We use the power rule, times the derivative on the inside. And the derivative on the inside is 2. And so this is just going to give us 6 times the quantity 2x minus 7 squared. Very similar on the other side. We want to convert this, though. We want to be careful when we do this one that we convert this into a nice power so we can use the power rule. And so that's x minus 2, that quantity raised to the negative 1. All right. Again, we're just going to follow the same steps. We're going to take the derivative of the outside, so we bring down our negative 1, x minus 2, and now we subtract 1 on that to give us a negative 2 as the power. And then we multiply it by the derivative of the outside, or the inside, which is just 1. And so we have y prime is equal to negative 1 times 1, which is negative 1, or a negative 1. And because this sign is negative, we are going to put that underneath. And it's x minus 2 quantity squared on the bottom. Okay. If you are having difficulty with this, it might be best to try to go back to the idea of dy dx is equal to dy du times du dx. And so you must identify then, you must make substitutions. In this case, u is equal to 2x minus 7. In this case, u is equal to x minus 2. Okay? Then you can take the derivative with respect to u, and then multiply that with the derivative of u with respect to x. It works out to be the same thing. It doesn't matter which way you use. All right, moving on. Here's a couple more, and now there's a little bit more to them. In this first one, because I have a square out, because I'm squaring both the top and the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and distribute that square to both top and bottom so that I have f of t is equal to 1 squared, which is just 1, divided by the quantity t minus 3 squared. Now I can go ahead and I can rewrite this as the quantity t minus 3 raised to the negative 2. Because of that, now I can go ahead and take the derivative with respect to t, and I take the derivative of the outside, which is negative 2 t minus 3, and I decrease the power by 1 to a negative 3, and then I multiply that by the derivative of the inside. So the derivative of the inside is 1. So again, just rewriting this, cleaning this up a little bit, we have negative 2 times 1 is a negative 2 on the top. The negative exponent tells us to flip it and then change the exponent to a positive. So we have a negative 2 over the quantity t minus 3 cubed. That's the derivative of f with respect to t. For the next one, be very, very cautious. There's a combination happening here. You in fact have a function here and a function here. Now you're multiplying those functions, so you have to invoke the product rule. You take the derivative of the first times the second. And so what I would suggest at this moment is you're going to have enough problems keeping this stuff in your head. Let's go ahead and break this up. So let's call h of x squared, and let's call, because we've been practicing with the chain rule, so I'm fairly certain that we can keep the chain rule by itself separate. And so we'll call g of x then the quantity x minus 2 raised to the 4th power. And so now f prime of x is going to be the derivative of the first, which is h prime of x, times the second, g of x, plus the derivative of the second, which is g of prime of x, times the first, which is h of x. All right, let's identify them then. Because h of x is x squared, then we take its derivative, h prime of x is equal to 2x. G prime of x, in this case, is equal to the derivative of the outside, which is 4 times the quantity x minus 2, decreasing the power to 3, times the derivative of the inside, which is simply 1. And so the g prime of x is 4 times the quantity x minus 2 cubed. All right, so let's substitute these in then. We've got our f prime of x is equal to h prime of x, which is 2x, times g of x, which is x minus 2 to the fourth, plus the derivative of g of x, which we said was 4 times the quantity x minus 2 cubed, times h of x, which is x squared. All right, so let's clean this up just a little bit here. F prime of x is equal to 2x, x minus 2 to the 4, plus 4x squared times x minus 2 to the third. And I suppose if you really, really wanted to, you could go ahead and expand this out, and you could combine like terms and make it look nice, but I prefer to leave it just like that. I don't see any particular need to continue on.